Prince Harry actually agreed to this particular, well, some might say, rather difficult situation? It's often cited, isn't it, that three's a crowd. And is that truly now the case? As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. This, of course, has caused a lot of controversy, as you can imagine. This very arty black and white picture, which has been beamed around the world and leaked via Meghan's website, Instagram site, whatever you want to call it, on her social media platform, did exactly the trick that Meghan wanted, well, it to do. As you can imagine, over Easter, a quiet period, she wanted the headlines back. And with another episode of her ill-fated podcasting, well, she needed all the help that she can get. But did she bank on this? Has been a chum, according to the blurb, for Meghan for over, well, a decade now, starting out with her and the ill-fated soap, that is, of course, Suits. And he's taken many pictures that are across all of his website. And according to him, they've had a wild ride. As I said, it must be rather disheartening for that other chum, Meghan Harriman, who has done a lot with his, photography to capture the essence of what Harry and Meghan wanted. In fact, he's been on tours with them and taken personal pictures, some of which he's hoped to get hung inside the National Portrait Gallery. But sadly for him, they remain locked in a drawer, pending. Seems to be a long time pending, but would just leave it there. As I said, you see, she's decided, like a lot of celebrities do, that he is the photographer that can make her look good. And as I've often pointed out, Meghan decides exactly the narrative of her life, and she mirrors a lot of what Marilyn Monroe, the former 50s and 60s bombshell, did. You see, Marilyn picked her own personal photographer in her co-production partner, Milton H. Green. And Meghan has studied Marilyn with great aplomb. You see, Milton took some of the most wonderful pictures of Marilyn in the 1950s. Much so, according to a source, both Josh and Meghan, well, literally effused over them for hours on end, looking at the structure, the way they were put together, and the poses that Marilyn undertook. I kid you not. As I pointed out with the recent launch of when she was writing in the sand with, 2025, that was all a take on the final session at the beach with Marilyn and another photographer, George Barris. She literally, some people might say, is truly inspired or just simply obsessed. Well, apparently, you see, as I told you, Harry was less than thrilled with the backlash that this particular picturette has now given the world, because obviously it's not very easy for a man, any man, to be married to someone whose wife is draped over a particularly good-looking guy who she's known for 10 years and all of their secrets. Of course, Josh was invited to the royal wedding, the spectacle that Meghan said, really she wanted to do her own private wedding because it was a huge spectacle, but it wasn't necessarily her wedding. You get the picture. Now, of course, this could play havoc in the future. And according to that source, Prince Harry is reluctant to go down this route because he feels it's, once again, media manipulation. And it's not something that he feels very comfortable with. I've brought you that sort of info before regarding his children appearing in the Instagram videos, albeit a lock of hair, a hand, or a back shot. Harry knows, really, that he's not keen on the media. But by going down this route, and some people might say being forced into these particular situations, well, he could have no other choice, because the story, and of course, rightly, the scandal behind this particular picture has mounted, getting all the headlines that Meghan Markle had hoped it would achieve. It's not resulted in people watching or listening to the podcast, though, but that's by the by. One thing Meghan likes is an excellent picture. But now can he do the same alongside Prince Harry? And will Harry finally agree? Or will it truly be a case of three's a crowd? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.